everybody, and welcome to another episode of Street Fighter League Pro-JP 2021 here with the official English broadcast. My name is Vicious, here with my man Saint Cola, who threw it down yesterday. We saw some pretty impressive gameplay for a couple of the teams, which we're going to break down little by little. But as it stands right now, we have just about 10 days left to see who will make it into the playoff spot. And I got to ask you, Saint Cola, coming in from yesterday's fiasco, or the last day's fiasco last week, how are you feeling about this week's matches?
Honestly, it is kind of a fiasco of what we saw yesterday. Cody beating Guile. And y'all can also see the schedule coming up here for the rest of 10 days, as Vicious has mentioned. As we get to those top spots, we are seeing people claw their way up, claw as many points as they can get to stay above the top spot of the red line to stay fine. You want to be in the first to fifth positions for the playoffs. Obviously, the first situated for the grand finals, and the ones below got to scrap it out to stay solid. Second place through fifth place in January are going to go to the playoffs. Play out for that. The top two teams from the playoffs are going to move on to the grand finals, along with first place of the league, and the top two teams of the grand finals will move on to the world championship.
These guys are playing for a hefty amount of cash, right? 8 million yen prize pool. It's going to be on the line. If you split that three ways and you split that with your teammates, that's still a hefty amount of cash. Decent change, I should say. Champion's taking home 5 million yen with 44k USD. I don't know what the conversion rate is right now, but I can tell you what, that's still life-changing money. Second place with 2 million yen. Third place with 1 million yen split up amongst themselves. And it's definitely going to be as important as ever. We talked about the home and away team pretty much every single episode and how important that is. And it's just getting to that point where, you know, if you're stuck in the away position, you are indeed at the disadvantage because you have to set up your player order first as well as your character order, giving the home team all of the information ahead of time to get the counter picks accordingly. Now, with 10 days left, I'd imagine all the away teams, all the players on the away team are going to be really stifling for all these points and kind of struggling, I feel like, from the counterpoint or the counter pick perspective. They got to make sure that they accumulate as many points as possible. And talking about yesterday, right, Saint, you and F-Word actually were talking about one of those teams that were at the very bottom, Camouflage Detonation, getting a very solid draw against Mildon Beast.
Yeah, doing really well, especially the last match of the day, which was super hype. It was Rashid. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that one in a second. But first up on the spot, it's been Good 8 Squad versus Shimoni's engaging a 3-1 right there to get it done. Good 8 Squad at the top spot. I feel like they are staying fine. All the people got to hustle for these points. Out here, Good 8 Squad at the 1%. They're at the top. They work their way up. Be able to stay solid and fight these teams like Shinobi's and Game that have been trying to get that top spot. They push them down at 3-1. And you also saw the draw right here, the Mildon Beast versus Detonation. This last match right here from Daigo versus John T. The Cody versus Guile pick. Honestly, me and Epper were like, why would he do that if he can run the Rashid, right? But he was so solidified in his Cody game plan that it was able to work out very solid. Being able to take down Daigo 3-1 right there. Now you see the standings right here. Good 8 Squad, Shinobi is in game, FAV, Roto Z, and then Gyogen, and last but not least, Oja Body Star above the red line to stay fine. Below that though, Mildon Beast, Saishun Khan, Soul, and Detonation at the bottom.
It's not too big of a disparity. I feel like with 10 days left, Mildon Beast barely scratching the surface of making it into the qualification spot for 5th place. They still have a very solid chance considering the players on that roster. Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto is just about there as well. They just have 13, and it's actually the same with Camouflage Detonation. Despite them having 13 points, if they manage to get full-on sweeps going forward, it could be pretty significant to solidify themselves within 2nd and 5th place, which is actually kind of scary because those teams that are currently in 2nd and 5th place, they still have a chance to get overtaken by some of these teams.
Absolutely. And throughout this league, we've seen the emotions through these camera shots and things like that. Shout outs to the league for putting that on. Love seeing all the quirkiness come through and play, but it's all serious business when they get down to the sticks because we got savages out here. All the competitors have been ridiculous. I even was prophesizing the demise of, Soul because I was like, it's over for them. There's no way they can come back, but they have been working their way up, getting stronger and stronger. But as we said before, this 10 days, you have to get as many points as possible to stay above that line. And y'all can continue to check out this action on YouTube, Twitch, and Mildon, the Capcom Fighters channels. Make sure you're not missing a dang match. I'm telling you, you will regret it. You see all those cool clips on, High Fight and stuff like that. Don't let those be the only times that you see the sick action here. Make sure you watch all the matches, and we're going to get to it right now.
Start off with the away team with V6 plus FAV Roto Z, led by the strongest helper, Sako Noko, with that ever impressive Menot, showing that age has no limit, even if it's on the other end. With the eyes of desperation, the young gun Ryusei rocking the Urian as always. Back-to-back Urians with the support of Takedo, the genius pro gamer, and of course the family to keep them all with the Papa, the Papa himself, Papa Bonchan, the executioner of justice. You see how intimidating it was? He actually made me mess up my delivery because of how intimidating his stance was. I was gonna say the man that brings the family together. It is Papa Bonchan, and look at how intimidating these guys are.
They're putting on new poses, but this team will not be intimidated. This is Gyokan swimming upstream. The amphibious warriors, 2D god Mago coming through first on the deck with that candy play, I should say. And then Maximo right behind, Mr. Optimal staying fine. Right behind him is gonna be the Rashid god himself, Moke, the hero of Sunrise himself. Finally ending the charge, and one to be looking out for, definitely after that Cynic match recently, Suzaku's own Mizuha, who took down Gachikun in one of the tightest matches of Street Fighter League Japan thus far.
You know, I really enjoy not only their enthusiasm, as you can see from Mago, but overall, I just like the confidence that Gyogun has had since the beginning of their time here at Street Fighter League, suffering that first defeat overall. They've slowly acclimated themselves into the league, as they've done in prior seasons, especially when it comes to Mago and Machimo. They've been on teams pretty much like a good amount of years. But as it stands right now, when they fought off against the Roto Z team, it was a tie game with Mago clutching it out as the anchor. Bonchan Tokido getting the first couple of victories, but Sako just falling a little short. So, it begs me to ask, what is going to be the roster? What is going to be the order for the V6 Plus FAV Roto Z team?
I'm not sure. FAV Roto Z out here, they already prepared. They already had a headband that said, "I will beat Mago." That's what Takedo's headband says. And it's saying right here that Sako this time is on the bench. Ryusei up first, then we got Tokido, and then Bonchan. So two Evo winners and an Evo qualifier out here. Two Urians and a Karen pick. But that's not too bad for the side of Yoga. If you're watching this, you're like, that's cool. We got two Camis in play. We also got the Rashid and Colleen if we need to bring those out too as well. So we'll see what Home has to say in a second.
I don't want to know what Mizuha and just the other team members are thinking about when it comes to trying to counterpick a team like FAV Roto Z, right? This is going to be kind of difficult overall to even consider. Looking at their previous record, the last time they played, Moke, Machimo, and Mago was the order. Moke and Machimo actually fell short to Bonchan and Tokido. So I'd imagine they'd want to mix things up just a little bit. I think when we're talking about Ryusei being up first, I'd imagine they'd want to put somebody like Machimo up, because he does have that Urian experience. He did fall short to Tokido, but I'd imagine like immediately after an L like that, he'd want to go up and kind of assess what he's learned since that defeat. And it would be against someone like Ryusei.
I agree. I agree with that. Mago saying there's only one way he can do this. Mago also saying, how do we deal with that guy with the headband? He's offended. And he said they were just discussing about the headband. That's the majority of their discussion right there. We were probably doing more deliberation than them, because Mago was like, dog, we got to deal with that dude with the headband. He's got the I will beat Mago on his headband. He is distracted by the headband, but they got to keep their head in the game to stay sane, because, again, they want all the points to get that win. Macho Kami up on the bench first. Vicious, you a damn genius.
It only makes sense, right? Because the last time they played against this team, one of the bigger defeats, one of the biggest losses we saw from Machimo, like, was that Urian play. I was thinking about it. He actually kind of got smoked, but I'd imagine he'd want to use someone like Kami again in a favorable position in this matchup. You can see the stats here. This graphic has been kind of new since what I believe Thursday is when it was introduced. We're talking about some of the overall stats. Machimo only has one game under his belt. He's played about 10 rounds. Then you see down below how he utilizes his V gauge. 10% going towards V shift, about 20% going towards, I believe, V reversal. And of course, he's been using that a lot of time. He's using V trigger a lot. per round. I feel like he gets that much gauge per round for V trigger, which makes a lot of sense because Cammy is going to be activating no matter what. I feel like.
On the other hand, you see Ryusei right here, 3 for 5 right here on the amount of wins. And then he's played 13 rounds, 15% on the V shift, 0% on the V reversal, and loves his offense with the V trigger. And my gosh, Machibo has said himself that he has been playing a lot against Ryusei. So that's another factor that's in this. He feels confident. He's been playing a lot against Ryusei. He feels familiar with this matchup. And I feel like if you're a Cammy player, you love to see this. You're licking your lips, you're licking your chops right here saying, oh, well, Urian, I'm coming through from the skies. It's going to be hard to deal with that aerial approach. He's got a damn near, every time she jumps in, it's like a mix-up. I'm going to go for jump fierce, jump heavy kick, dive kick, and by that time you're trying to come through and stay fine with the answer to crouch fierce, you get got.
Yeah, and that does make sense. And that's the kind of play we might actually see between these two. It's going to be a lot of patience. We're going to see a lot of reactionary kind of plays. I do like Machibo's offense a little bit more than Ryusei's, but Ryusei also is pretty good when it comes to active defense. He's also going to be scouting out not just the ground, but the airborne approach as you should against Cammy. And as you see also Ryusei utilizing that V gauge mostly towards V trigger, very similar to Cammy, right? Because it is, after all, Urian, one of the biggest trademarks he has is the Aegis Reflector. But before we get into the matchup, we are going through the Gilgun trivia for today. The theme is about what occupation they'd be doing if they weren't a pro player. Machibo was saying he'd probably be a football player or playing in a band. That's actually pretty beast. I like that a lot. I didn't know he was a football fan. Do we mean like American football? Or are we talking about like soccer? That's what I want.
Yeah, I want to hear the distinction. I'm very curious. Like, is he built like that? But also, what part of the band do you think he'd play? Would he be a singer? Would he be on? I feel like he's a bass player. He looks like a bass player.
I was thinking bass as well.
Let's go. See, great minds think alike.
I definitely think he's a bass guitarist for sure. That guy's got the bass line for days.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's in the back slapping the bass. Mago says he'd probably be a teacher, and Moke says he wants to be working in a bakery. That's kind of cool, like a nice, easy life right there. They call him in to pull up the Rashid play, like, that's not me anymore. It's not me anymore. I just want to have a nice, easy life at the bakery. It's not me anymore.
They locked the doors behind him. He's like, how did you find me? I left that life behind.
He's gonna say he wanted to be a fisherman because he always wants to be away from the land. And Mongo asks if he's all right. Like, hey dog, you going through it? You okay? You want to be away from the land? You all right? Just make sure you got some flotation devices. You're trying to stay afloat out here in Street Fighter 3 Japan. It said, you going through it? You okay? Hopefully we're okay in this match here. Machibo,
as it currently stands, I don't blame him for wanting to be away from land, to be quite honest with you. Trying to be as far away from land as possible doesn't sound like a bad idea. I think that is an optimal way to live right now.
It's gonna... Alright, let's see what it do. Machibo, really strong competitor out here, making such a game, trying to make it work. But I wonder, you know, after playing in field couple in this match, trying to get that W instead of that L, how he's going to be able to move around someone like Ryusei. He's definitely ready for this matchup where you played a losing matchup so many times in your life, you have a game plan. You're situated for it.
We're talking about that game plan right now. Machibo has been spacing a lot towards the medium kicks, right? He did get beat up a couple of times from Ryusei, stand medium punch, low medium kick, but it was enough to build him that meter, and he also has access to it again with the amount of life he has left. He's still looking for a solid confirm against Ryusei, but he's still within threat of, yes sir, that exact moment, the crush counter. Now coming in from Ryusei in the corner. EX bust out for success from Machibo. Big trade off, Jesus! What a way to trade. You were talking about that exact moment too. St. Cola was talking about the crouching elbow coming in from Urian. If he could scout it out correctly, that trade combo is going to be dangerous. Crouching heavy punch for the round.
Nasty with it. There we go. Already, Machibo taking to the corner with a spiral arrow, trying to enact that scammy pressure, where if you're caught up in the corner, it's going to be hard to challenge on these zero-on block situations because you have a 4-frame, hard to challenge, and that slow reversal, back in the corner you go, spiral arrow. Chiropractic, see me Sunday, the neck breaker. Oh, now Ryusei. Ooh, the side walk back. Ugh.
Punish on the stand fierce. My man Machibo is going to be getting this Oki situation. A throw will do it. And it doesn't even matter. He got the normal first, backed it on up. See, that was very smart. See, he didn't want to go for a meaty throw, considering the meter that Ryusei had. He went for the safer option of throwing in the meaty crouching light punch.
And that's one of those things in Street Fighter V, just in general, to stay alive and thrive, you have to stay away from V-trigger. Denying activation is a big pain point right here. And I also like Macho going in with that pressure. Already gonna knock it back to its screen and stay outside the corner.
I see it, yeah, he's gone down to the counter poking strategy a little bit more often if he's trying to like tone down on offense against Ryusei. That's what the crouching medium punch signal is for. He does get the back throw now. Back to the medium range as well. From Macho, Ryusei's been pretty active with his mediums, but hasn't caught anything.
Yeah, he's been outside that range right there. And you see the dash is that quick walk speed, the quick dash speed, already in. Running that propaganda, just take the throw. That's how the tech though. You kick activation. He shifts away just immediately. Didn't have to deal with the unique EX cherry tackle. They want to get got.
It's looking all Macho right now with the amount of meter he has left. Ryusei still with full resources, right? He has full critical art, but he only has a second mirror. It's a matter of how he's going to activate it. Okay, wait a minute. Does get a counter hit. Second mirror. Don't get schmixed. Oh, what the fourth? Oh, he gets tackled. He's dead. Oh, no, we're punished.
Was it roll?
No.
Punish though. Can't do that for free. Not on me. Ryusei.
Macho
Always got the eyes open.
It's because Macho missed the whiff punish. He absolutely missed the whiff punish against Ryusei, and even Ryusei kind of chuckled at that. He's like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess this is a perfect opportunity for me to punish." And what a punish indeed, too. Knowing full well that he wasn't going to get the charge, he kept the crouching medium punch into EX headbutt. That was so good for Ryusei. First game.
I really like the fact that he's aware. It's those moments that keep you as a strong competitor right there. To pick up the drops and seal it. But again, caught up in the corner. This is looking like a nice win for Macho, but one more touch for the stun, gets it done. Up in combo, back brainless. There's the EXDP, one more touch for it. Back throw, domination.
Round 2.
So far, so good for Macho, having another clean start. Again, we saw how it worked out for him in the previous game, getting his offense acclimated, and I do like to bust out again. The one thing about Ryusei is that he's just so good at keeping the space with the medium punches and medium kicks. A big counter hit conversion now from Ryusei. Forward throw into the corner.
Walking a medium kick activation. The range on that, able to find that easy activation. And puts him in the corner. Definitely gonna spin that bar, just that side switch, and enact the same kind of scaling carrying pressure that we saw before. How are you gonna get got by the same thing? No, not today. He's staying solid. Delete that email. Oh, that's damage right there. Get it done.
Another one. It's still 100%. Oh, punish! You can't.
Oh,
you can't punish that. You're not allowed to punish that. Even though it's a target combo, it was an absolute bait from Ryusei because he did the close mirror. That was so smart.
He dared him. He's like, I wish you did something. I wish you press a button, because now I'm sitting on set point. The mirror is the determining factor. I feel like in a lot of these matches, Marcus got to stay solid against that. And now he's putting that stun up, baits out the XDP. Oh, God, dang, it's done. Well, that ball goes very didn't even need to do that because it is a super situation, and that actually might seal it.
It will right now.
Oh my God!
And then,
vicious.
I was looking for the Oki, but now this is where it turns a little topsy-turvy. I feel like with the way that Ryusei has only one bar and one extra mirror left, it's going to be really difficult. I don't know. He had to make it safe after that, the forward throw. But then what? He gets the reset, another throw. How are you going to finish it off for Ryusei? You look... Oh, I was going to say, you were looking for that extra plate at the buffet. Now you got leftovers at your table. You're looking foolish.
You're looking real foolish. You didn't finish that play. What are you doing? Pulling up for seconds? I'm just trying to stack it on. But I do like the way that Ryusei is trying to play in terms of V-trigger. On the flip side, though, Machobo's really good about the defense. I know that he got by the mirror. That's just him needing to slow down so he doesn't lose no rounds. Because we saw, like, okay, cool, the mirror's out. Got, okay, cool. You got that one. That's sick. But Machobo, again, staying solid in these mirror situations is how he's going to land these wins. The mirror has been the determining factor. That's how it is for you and for a lot of matchups. Yeah, sometimes he's, like, even, or maybe he'll lose a little bit, but then he pops that mirror and he forces the mix and gets the damage going. Positioning, all that good stuff.
all the good stuff indeed, right? There's just so much pressure that comes out of the mirror, no matter how much life an opponent has. One of the things I do like about Ryusei is he's always constantly like fighting for that positioning too in the neutral. Before even like talking about the mirror itself, he's always fighting for positioning with the medium kicks and medium punches. I keep emphasizing that, but it's very important, right? It's a big deterrence to Machabo in preventing him from getting started on offense. But I will say, big credits, big kudos to Machabo for actually navigating his way around it with a couple of counter pokes too.
He's trying to use the medium punch and then kind of set up shop the other button. Crouching medium punch, crouching light, but now Machabo catching him and putting him in the corner. And those buttons don't matter if they reach. Candy gets in, she's gonna get that win. Light buffer, the spiral arrow, and the throw two as well. On the money. He didn't go for that DP, would be looking funny.
Another big confirm there for Machabo, moving on into the corner now. One more touch is gonna be it for Ryusei, but he's still hanging in there. Looking for that trigger. You were talking about trying to be risk averse, trying to prevent that activation from happening. Once Machabo lost his momentum in the corner, he left, but now forcing Ryusei to spend that bar to spend the trigger. So smart from Machabo, just backing away now.
Then one more mirror left to you have to deal with, and you're fine with this. V shift away. You know, it's a one-touch situation, or maybe two. When he gets strong arrow, but or normal. But that jab check will do it. You're going 65 in a 25. We need you to slow down. Set point, Machabo.
That's
back at it.
That's dangerous, man. That's manslaughter. Don't do that. That's dangerous. Dangerous territory. What a big confirm. Ooh. I'm liking this from Ryusei so far. And he just backs down. He doesn't want to be in hot pursuit.
Trail behind and you pass him. Ooh, with the throw though. Also living his life in the fast lane. That aggression. I like how the medium kicks come out too to interrupt the medium punches that could come through, or the fireballs. But then you see Ryusei taking this out to the EX activation, if you please. Put the DP on, spin all that bar to get that corner carry.
Reset. Oh man, he's still committed to it. That's so brave for Machabo, and we still haven't seen anything coming from Ryusei on reversal in that round, and that's gonna be more than enough. Machabo getting the W. Is this his second W overall?
Have to check, but this is a big one. I feel like, especially if you're sitting here saying that you're confident in the match, you definitely showcase that right there, making people eat their words. I do like the fact that he ran that matchup super well, stayed away from the danger. That is the aegis reflector that enforces the mix that especially someone as aggressive as Ryusei is going to take advantage of.
I do like that. Coming in hot, Machabo. That's his first win as Kami, but overall his second victory for Team Gyogun, which is pretty significant, right? That's the kind of comfort, that's the kind of confidence we want to see coming in from Machabo. And speaking of confidence, look at down below on the left. 3 out of 3 when it comes to EXDPs. Invincible reversals, hitting the mark every time, leading him to 2 games over Ryusei, who had a pretty rocky time with his own EX reversals, right? You see 0 for 1 and a significant one at that. I feel like he could have taken a little bit more chances, a couple of more chances. But I will say his anti-air game also was decent. He did get a trade-off with the crouching heavy punch. That was pretty significant for that trade combo. Fact of the matter is right now, it did not deter Machabo from continuing to jump, as all Kamis should feel like.
That's an ingrained mix-up right there. And that's the win right here for Machabo. First one on the board for Gyogun, and they definitely feeling fantastic out of that. Fresh out the water with it. So now we see the strategy that can be coming through as it should, you know, as something on paper that you would typically see right there. And the readiness to preparedness for Machabo coming through also in the clutch. I wonder who they're gonna send up next. Looks like the home team is deciding. We have Tokido's Yuri in, which is going to be a little bit different. You know, I feel like, you know, we say it's super aggressive, but Tokido's got this walk down approach, you know, using the mediums, more straightforward, more on the walk down kind of approach. I wonder who they're gonna send up to take that win against Tokido.
I think because of the current atmosphere with the headband, I believe Mago's going to go up next because he wants to take down the guy with the headband, right? I believe that would make sense. But before we even get into it, right, Mago and the team are having a slight discussion, but it's mostly just to kind of praise Machabo, saying that he knew Machabo had it in him. And he feels like Macho is slightly different today. And that's the kind of momentum you need, right? Setting the pace is exactly what we talked about. Having Macho find this confidence in himself not only propels him to play better going forward, but it also sets the tone for the rest of the team. And as it stands right now, we're still trying to figure out what the rest of the order is for said team. Moke is still on the bench, as we mentioned earlier. Gilgun is trying to figure out whether or not Mago should go up against the man with the headband.
I feel like you're right. I feel like if you're Mago, if you don't want to see this dude in your dreams, while you're eating, looking at your soup, and it's just like his face is there, you want to get that off the table. So Mago going up against Tokido. Oh boy, how you gonna have a headband made to take down this dude? It's like you're calling him out. You're calling out the general on the other side, like 1v1 me right now. See me if you ain't a coward.
Kind of funny you mentioned seeing his name in the soup. It's like I can picture like the alphabet soup and every scoop he takes it says Tokido in it. That's actually mad funny. That would actually be mad funny. But this is expected, right? Looking at the amount of W's this man had, he's 50%. He's played in total 23 rounds, and you could see how he's utilized his V gauge overall. As Cammy, it does not surprise me that he gets at least one activation on average every round. And the same goes in for Urien, right? Tokido with a just as impressive record, not as many games, but just as many W's. And you can see what he uses that V gauge for. If it's in a V shift, he barely uses it. He barely uses V shift. Any sort of V reversals, we haven't seen it yet from the side of Tokido. So that just goes to show you the kind of players that they are when it comes to their characters. They want to utilize their V trigger so much more just because of the potential behind it.
I can't wait to see Shudo, like what they see for him, because he's definitely more defensive than other Urians. But also, just in general, going back to the Tokido thing and Mago thing with the headband, it says that Tokido he called out his real name with the headband because Tokido's headband has Mago's government name. You put the government name on the headband? That's nasty. Oh, that you definitely see me in the parking lot after that one. You giving out the government? Honestly, I thought Mago was his government, but I guess we know something different now.
Hopefully we don't expose any more governments when it comes to Street Fighter League. You gotta keep it to the player name. That is a code of law. When it comes to the cameras and the gameplay, it has to be by the gamer tag, no matter what. So, Tokido being first up to be questioned when it comes to his profession if he wasn't a pro gamer, he responds by saying he will be a pro-Japanese player, no matter what. Because the theme, again, is about what occupation they would be doing if they weren't a pro player. Tokido disregarded that question. He's like, no, my determination is to be a pro player, so that's what I'm going to answer with. Bonchan, however, wants to be a pro Mahjong player, which makes sense because that's his background. He got into the FGC because of Daigo, telling Bonchan, he's like, you know, you have really good reads, you're a really good Mahjong player, you should apply those skills into fighting games. And that's how we have him currently today. Yusei actually wants to do something that can be close to animals because he loves them. Maybe a veterinarian. We've seen him with a ferret, actually, on camera a couple of times. And Sako, he wanted to be a baseball player. That's hype. That's actually super sick.
Hey, that's kind of tight. But back to what you say, I feel like he'd be an outkeeper for sure. With them eyes, that dude always got them open. He'd definitely be an outkeeper. I can't see him being nothing but having a bunch of owls around his house. That's sick. I like that they have these things that they would do if they weren't, you know, pro players. And maybe something they could do later on in life. Hell, who knows? You know, Sako, when he does retirement, maybe he becomes like an old head, you know, out here, you know, slinging out the baseballs and things like that. But now he's got to be slinging out fists. Maybe a little bit later on because he is on the bench. But we're going to be seeing right here a grudge match that has recently occurred because of the headband thing and more. Cammy versus Urien action of a different sort of flavor. Mago versus Tokido. Oh, this one will be personal.
Although it may be a different flavor, you're getting it exclusively and live from Street Fighter League Pro Japan. This is going to be quite the matchup between Gilgun and V6 Plus FAV Roto Z. We're going to see where the momentum goes right now. Urien versus Cammy, Tokido versus Mago. Let's see how this neutral is played out. V-Skill 1 is the choice for Cammy. As you can see from Mago, trying to get around the fireball already, and in a plus situation now, Mago just disregarding the neutral.
Lose a little November, dog. It is that time of the year. already getting in, didn't find the confirm, went right for the B skill, good blocking, punish on the unfortunate input right there, trying to tackle EXDP right there. Stun, trade, all in favor of Mago, and he gets it done. EX, yeah, there's the finish.
Absolutely more than enough, trying to put a stain on the headband. Make sure that you don't put my name on your headband. Already started things off. Chariot tackle the bust out from Tokido, but still now it's going to be a lot of jabs. And what a time to swing with the fierce. Dear God, Mago all over Tokido.
Not letting him leave. He's clingy with it. Oh, the buffers. Finds the chariot tackle. Back to mid-screen. But I like Mago's decision to do these jabs and run the fierce, catching that back walk, and then immediately cancel into the spiral arrow. Again, get those okay situations with the buffer of the medium right there back at him. He's aware.
Speaking of keeping in the corner now, Tokido, it's his turn. Still trying to maintain this momentum. Mago slowly trying to walk out of the corner and get within this range to get the low medium kick going. Man, Tokido's still walking up in that range anyway, despite all the threats, despite all the normals in front of him. Now he's fighting back with his own medium kick. Speaking of, Mago still can't find the confirm to get himself out.
Yeah, you see Tokido down back and down back for the down back right here. A lot of blocks, not trying to open up crouch fears. No activation yet from Mago. Definitely probably, or actually I should say probably once an on-hit situation be great for him. Not on block, but still can enforce that plus mix. We'll find the fist to face right there. That might just put him in his place.
I love the conversion here from Mago. He's so dangerous. Dash up 2 times over. Safe meaty. Got the safe jump. The V-shift. No, that could have been a big punish. He missed the confirm. Oh, Mago, not
Mago.
like this. Instead of just going with the current, he decided to swim upstream. My man was swinging with that fierce. He thought he had it.
You've got to be super careful when you don't have the health to play with. You've got to be on point with confirms. What the character's really about the EX headbutt, take it back to turn, coconut brain. Then runs a taste of bomb, jab, check, too far out for the tackle though, but still has the caught in the corner. And Tokido actually turns up like volume as soon as he gets him in the corner, but Mago finds the escape option, exit sign, staying fine. Big jump in.
Again with the bust out, nice work. Getting the EX headbutt is so critical, right? Now it deters Mago from ever going in the rest of it. But does get a dash check in now. Crouching medium punches, now medium punches just flailing about. But Tokido, he also has trigger, watch out.
Stuff in the corner, jump back, fierce, fade away, looking for the combo, vicious! What's the activation? Solid. Oh my god, cleans it up, one touch, the mirror, and the light bounty soft touch to seal it, Tokido. Oh my god, those rocks, I'm telling you, in scramble situations, you have to stay solid. Order them over easy. You have to play as solid as it's easier said than done in high pressure situations when you're fighting top level players right here. But again, the upper echelon of top level play is making the most of these situations. As you see Tokido running out that B trigger, putting the mirror up, and continue on that pressure. Jeez.
That could have been, that should have been, I should say, in Mago's favor. He had a couple of slight errors in the round prior, and that's the kind of momentum that Tokido needed. He knows, he's like, you know, Mago might be playing a little nervous. I'm going to take advantage of that, and we're going to see how antsy he gets in that corner. I will say Tokido in full control in that last bit of that game. It's got to be enough for Mago to be like, all right, well, what do I need to do to clean this up? What has been the motive for Tokido when it comes to using his bar? Like, how has he been actually utilizing it? So far, it's been pretty sporadic in terms of EX tackles and EX headbutts. But Tokido finding his moments to use EX headbutt has been absolutely critical. I said that earlier in stopping Mago, or at least having him second guess his approach.
His spacing is really good too. We saw the jump back fierce come through. I've seen that from him time and time again against quite a few Kami players on the CFN. It's just like having these little moments to stay at the right spacing to find these punishes, or just enforce some sort of law that make them play different is very important. Jump medium again. You see the distance he plays that to find these hits for the range off the medium buttons.
Experience that utilize that jump medium punch to chase down or actively play defense. It's so interesting to see, but I love seeing it overall. Big counter hit diversion now from Tokido. Now it places Mago in a really tough situation. The throw tech. Mago does get the confirm now. Another set of confirms. Watch out for the trigger activation. Cross counter, catching a delayed button.
Oh, the EX catches him jumping back. The chariot tackle with the quickness.
He had to do it.
I agree. I'm with him. He wants that point. It's the headband, dog. It's the headband. Put the fear of God into him.
Oh, he didn't even need to move for that anti-air. That crouching heavy punch just making the most of it. Back throw now, Mago gets to enforce all this pressure. No counter hit conversion off of Taquito, but it still moves him out of the corner. And speaking of, no, Mago actually goes for EX spiral arrow to continue to confirm and now puts himself in this corner. Held it down for plus frames. Now he gets the move. Taquito, speaking of, on the move with the counter hit. Oh no! Was it too far?
I think he might have been. Anti-air though. Have a chance at some situations. You see Taquito do something different against some of these jumpers, either jumping back, jump fierce, or just blocking it out. Making it hard for Mago to find a good read. EX tackle, takes back the turn and then some, opens him up.
Oh, that back throw is going to be so good for Taquito. Yeah, at least it's activation, but no fear in Mago's heart. He thought he was close enough. Mago, what was that?
Even Taquito shot.
Mago,
and Mago reeling back
that?
in pain. It's the headband. See these outside tactics, dog. Outside the game, there's tactics that come through. The headband put on the government made him shook. He was shook. But also, Taquito's game plan was absolutely fantastic, too. Can't take nothing away from that.
Mago, what happened? Tell me about it, bud. You gotta tell me about it. That was a swing and a miss if I had ever seen it. I can understand what the intention was. He wanted to go for the critical art for the chip damage. Fact of the matter is, no matter what he input, maybe like critical art raw, maybe, but if he was trying to do uppercut for chip damage into critical art, he was way too far for that.
Yeah. 100% on the side of invul and bust outs. Same on the side of Taquito. Didn't catch all the anti-airs, but the ones that did come through did do a lot of damage on the side of Taquito. That's part of his victory. Also, just in general, dealing with the dive kicks, the jump ins, and things like that, not letting too much space go for free, and taking care of the moments when Mago had these big drops. And I also feel like from the way that Mago was playing, a little bit too much on the shakiness, just wasn't solidifying the game plan, and maybe just reacting to things that weren't there. Sitting here swinging at Casper the Friendly Ghost, nobody was home. So Taquito taking advantage of these moments, sealing it, taking the win, and again studied, especially after maybe the fact that Taquito had lost to Akira's Kami, not too long ago, 0-3. Probably back in the lab saying, what do I do against this matchup? If I fight another Kami, I don't want that to be me again. So 1-1 on the board in terms of points. Who do you send up to take down Bonchan's Karen?
You don't have a choice at this point. It is process of elimination, considering Moke is on the bench. It's going to be Mizuha that's going to be in the anchor position, which is going to be pretty good. I think playing Colleen versus Karen, it's a very interesting matchup. We've seen this matchup so many times between Nephew and Punk over in the States. Just overall, the Colleen representation and the Karen representation. It's a very common matchup. But in this level of gameplay, could go in a whole different story. Let's take a look at Mizuha's stats overall. He's had a very impressive record. I think he's had one of the best records overall for his team, 5-7 in terms of matches played, getting a good amount of W's for his team, 19 rounds played. And overall, when you're looking at Colleen and the type of character that she is, best believe the V-trigger activation is going to be the main point of usage for the V-gauge. And you can see Bonchan with the same record, although having a couple, actually just one more round over Mizuha, he still has a very impressive record. Actually, no, it's 4-7. My mistake. He's one loss underneath Mizuha, so he has his record not as clean. But you can see where that V gauge is being used. A lot of V reversals from the side of Karen's or Bonchan's Karen.
And we also have to think about the fact that if things don't go Bonchan's way for the Karen pick, he could switch the Sagat if need be too as well. Mizuha they're used to, dabble with some other characters, but it's mainly probably going to be the Colleen pick right here. Let's see what's going to happen. The anchor pick, the last match between these two players, or these two teams, I should say. Mizuha saying it's time for him to take down Bonchan. He said it's time to take down the EVO champion. I came for the Capcom Cup champion. I took that one down. The EVO one's next.
Round one.
I like that a lot. Here we go, the final game between Gyogun and V6 Plus at the Vivo Z. Mizuha, again, being able to play in, I think, mid to further out ranges too, can be pretty important, but I do like Karen's game from up close a little bit more. Oh boy. Off that medium punch buffer.
It's a big, nice and easy puts these matches so things get real explosive, just like this. Punish from Bonchan, puts him in the corner with the shoulder. Yeah, that light kick's so deadly. Locks him down, gotta find a way out. Jansen's time with the activation. Crush to catch the backdash.
What a deliberate walk up there from Mizuha. Now he's going in, back-to-back throws, tick throws. He actually got the chase up from the V-shift, and that's gonna be huge. He's gonna go for the reset. No, he spends the bar anyway. One more for stun, and Bonchan finds his way out. Either way, spend it. 2 bars over. That's gonna be so good going into the next round.
Round two.
Fantastic. Catch that walk back with the crouching knee kick so deadly with it. You gotta be watching your toes. Like into those. First one on the Bonchan side. Staying nice and solid. And as you said before, try to stay in that close range game in and out, because I feel like longer range, a little bit more of Colleen's side, but already Bonchan in. That medium punch from Karen, so deadly. You got the crouching knee kick too as well. Both those buttons set up shop for pain.
The raw activation coming in from Mizuha. And I like that he walked down Bonchan majority of the time. Actually, wait a minute. Bonchan, speaking of, not letting him walk in for free. Oh, he tried to catch a delayed button. Mizuha now firing back, but there's not that much trigger left. He's going to get the corner push and the damage, but Bonchan is going to be big chilling in this corner for a while.
Overextend to get the win. Here, if you're Bonchan, nice reversal, push him out for a little bit. When you caught him in the corner against this character, get crushed down off of Fierce, and then you eat a ton of damage. Nice and easy with the medium kick. Overextend. Confidence from Bonchan. Defense. Hands up.
Oh,
and a sweep have B trigger just in case.
Yeah, that was a very tough situation overall for Mizuha, knowing that Bonchan was fully locked and loaded with that V gauge, and we've seen how he likes to spend it, right? He's not one to really use it for the trigger activation as much, according to the stats. He likes to use it pretty actively for offense and defense in terms of keeping that momentum going or stealing it away. But in that very moment, you know how far Karen's sweep goes. It's actually mad cheap.
Right.
So using that with a trigger behind it, who wouldn't, right?
And you saw that. I feel like that's one of those things where, again, you have to stay away from V triggers. The V trigger, the aspect of Street Fighter 5. If you're watching that bar, you know what he wants. It's disgusting. He wants to activate on him. He wants to swing out that sweep and stay solid with it. So stay away. Easier said than done though to get that win. Bonchan coming through. Already find a crouching knee kick. Puts the palms on him. The dash up again. Challenge though from Mizuha and trying to walk him down aggressively. Oh, he's trapped out. Put him in the corner.
Kill again, but no conversion off of the crouching medium punch. Great awareness there to keep the anti-airs going and backing away. Mizuha is trying to keep Bonchan contained in this corner, using that back roundhouse as kind of a threat. He's like, you know what, don't try to get into my space. You stay in this corner. I'm going to be building up some of this gray life. Don't even try to get any momentum. A big whiff punish there from the stand short. I like that. Mizuha now in control.
Starting to implement that more in his game plan. I like that. And then putting the back heavy kick on the table again for the win. We saw him kind of use the heavier buttons of this character, and the Bonchan would just walk on in after the nice situations of recovery and, apply the pressure. Now he's starting to put the light to check that approach. And then you get the EX, bar being used in the right kind of way, that corner carry position too. Fantastic by Mizuha to adjust.
We see the kind of, oh boy, that's huge. Bonchan actually got his buffer normal walked into by Mizuha, walking and blocking within range. getting the throw before the icicle goes for the snow. Here we go now. The pressure from Mizuha again coming from this back roundhouse has deterred Bonchen from walking forward.
He's walking right into his foot, right into the foot, wiping the shoes off in the face. Mizuha with a fat lead. This could all go downhill if Bonchen plays it right, but one more decision, that might be night-night. Down with the hail. Look at the defense, look at Mizuha's defense. Nothing to fear.
Yep, that's exactly how he should have played out. He had a massive life lead. All he had to do was force Bonchen to make that error, and he didn't even have to be that active with it. Standing light kick, just one touch away. Mizuha looking very clean in game 2, in full control. I think that was, what, 2 rounds straight coming in from Mizuha in that second game.
And all the adjustments just came from even way before Future being popped. That's not even a factor. It's just using the standing light kick to check Bonchan's approach. So if you do try to walk in, I'm going to catch you before you can get started. And some of these drops also from Bonchan are getting punished in full. And just the fact that Mizuha is putting everything together with the butts and not have to leave anything off the table, because that's big for Colleen. Being able to use those big, long limbs that she's got, the back heavy kick and the fierce, and then the light kick too as well. Nothing off the table, everything at the ready. He's staying steady. Mizuha and Bonchen all even out. I wonder if Bonchen is thinking about the switch to the king. The king!
I wouldn't be surprised if he opted to go for Sagat because he's looking for a lot more neutral control. Mizuha has done a great job of kind of outspacing Bonchen majority of the time, and also walking into buffer normals to force the block and like the errors. Once he got a hold of that strategy, Bonchen has been kind of at a loss. So the switch to Sagat doesn't surprise me too much. Gonna be a lot more activity in terms of fireballs coming in from Sagat. Let's see how it plays out in the neutral. No uppercut, just a rod jumping from Mizuha, just completely unchecked.
He's a dad. He got to get warmed up. You know what I'm saying? Wipe the duck butter from his eyes to get going. But you know, when those come through, it'll be looking nice. But at the same time, if you're a Sagat player, you do not want to be on the back foot. You can follow the corner, but you do not want to be on the back foot in terms of helping. That could all go through. Never mind. Flip out, punch, puts the knees on him.
I know we're well into the match already,
punish.
but did you just call it duck butter?
Duck butter. It's that's an old term right there. That's an old head term right there.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm so surprised. Here we go. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of damage. Full conversion for Bonchen in the corner. No one puts baby in the corner. I'm telling you, man, Bonchan's Sagat is always so impressive. He knows how to fight out of this corner. Like, when you think about being stuck in the corner, you think it's a disadvantage. Not for Bonchen.
Also, you just in general this matchup, forcing Mizuha to use the bar to skate through the fireballs, and you know he's going to change up the tempos of the fireballs and things like that too. So we have to normals every so often. Maybe take the fireballs off the table for a second and just poke with the medium kick. All those dangerous with it. Crouch medium kick into the EX, put the knees on him, and Bonchen confirms a great but the counter, the side switch, on your knees. If
you're Bonchen, he's like, yeah, again, I've lived in this corner for years. I've played Sagat for how many years before you were even a pro? This is fine for me.
Actually be true. And I even daring to
still got the throw?
Because that DP would have definitely whipped. He's an expert. Oh, you see him stay solid against the lady step? Let me humble you.
Sagat wins.
Just outside of that range too, Bonchen already knew he got the whiff punish on deck. He wasn't even gonna try to be proactive in sealing the round, and that's so smart. Sagat doesn't even need to do that. He can throw tiger shots and chuck them from downtown. He doesn't even matter. It's not even a Hail Mary at this point. This guy has a machine for an arm. But all jokes aside, again, Bonchen just so impressive when it comes to applying so much pressure from three-fourths away of the screen.
And I also like the fact that Bonchen is playing against Mizuha plays. I feel like when Mizuha is down in health, it doesn't make maybe a few more risks than maybe necessary. The stability really comes from having the lead, and Bonchen playing around that with his character pick. But here we go. As soon as I say that, Mizuha now getting the lead, now feeling the stability of the corner pressure.
Oh, that is huge now. Bonchen gets to play up close and personal. not for too long. The ice will step gets him out of danger. Mizuha now applying the pressure. Forward throw against Bonchan. Tick throw yet again. Still has a little bit of trigger left. EX bust out there for Bonchan. What an important decision to make.
Still Mizuha's in. Not deterred by that bust out at all. Activation. The ice fall. Median kick comes through. Letting those choppers sing. One more touch. I can't believe that didn't do enough damage. Oh, the crouching heavy kick into the EX Parabellum and the javelin for the win.
Are you kidding me?
Bitches.
He went for the sweep. The sweep into EX Parabellum, that would have been super negative. That is actually the bravest thing I could have seen from Mizuha. That was shades of day one.
True. This is not looking good for Bonchan. You not want to have the lead taken away from you in hell. Even if you win a matchup, it's a god. Comeback factor not too big for this character. Can dish out the damage, but just the access a little bit on the difficult side. Here's the activation. I mean, way to escape through the fireballs. Big for Misa, or just a sweep again into the EX. He's commitment.
You jabbed over EX Parabellum. Now the sweep into the ice javelin. I love the usage of the V skill. The call out from Mizuha. Checking the EX uppercut against Bonchan, that was cold-blooded.
This man, you look into his eyes. Ain't nothing there. Ain't nothing there.
There's
Look
no
at me
soul.
right now. No soul.
That's not there anymore. Ice cold killer. That was actually messed up. My man did a raw V-skill up close in Bonchan's face to make a statement. Calling out the reads. He's like, yeah, you're a Mahjong player, Bonchan. You got all the reads? Well, let me test. Let me see. Let me see what page you're on when it comes to the Book of Mizuha.
They said it's a novel. You got a lot to read. You only on chapter 1. And according to Mother Base, the sequence of that win was exactly how Mizuha played against Gachikun. Exactly how he got going against Gachikun. So it's just those bursts that you don't expect. Those moments of commitment are maybe how he stays solid when he loses that lead, or actually I should say, when he has a lead, he's willing to make these risks. And you're like, you're built different today, huh? You feeling a certain kind of way. Because now we are on game point. We're going down to the wire. I would love to see it go down to the wire. I mean, round to round. I want to see it go down. I want to see it go down to the precipice because this is tight.
Glad you mentioned built differently. You know, Mizuha has really adapted to each and every one of his opponents every single time he's been put up to play. I think, again, he has the best record for Gyokun. And from what started off as really kind of sus, kind of rocky in terms of his gameplay and his decision making, he's cleaned it up tremendously. So again, yeah, being built different in each round, you're absolutely on point with that. And now, speaking of on point, the trigger is not going to be on point. Bonchan actually counter-poking away and countering it in general has been so superb. But here comes Mizuha now with the damage.
What's out today? So what happened last time? Nobody's one committee, but not a big punishment from Bonchan. Skates underneath the heavy kick. Put him in a coffin with that throw. Dash up another throw. Oh, you definitely can't tag for your damn dear life. It's a one-touch situation here. If he finds a Pierce or Crush, Bonchan could definitely steal it right back.
What is happening? Dude, it's gotta be pasta night in Japan. It's so much spaghetti. These guys have been fumbling the noodles everywhere in that corner. What just happened?
I do understand why Bonchan wouldn't go for DPs. Maybe heavy kick anti-air might whip, but the DPs, the way they interact, because of how tall the god is, you will definitely find yourself whipping more often than not in some of these over-the-head situations. That's what you've seen a lot of Sagat players like Zappolino definitely literally being like, bro, help us, please. Capcom, please. EX needs. Ashiest is coming through as an anti-air. Let's go, Sagat.
Don't let him hit you with the knees. You might catch a disease, but Bonchan now is trying to maintain that social distancing. But no anti-air uppercut. Instead, he's going to get the knockdown here from Mizuha. Another throw, another set of decision-making for Bonchan to get out. Yes, sir, and he makes the right call again.
Wake up EXTD, no, just gonna hold it. Way too much, have the lead. Saw what happened last time. It's easy with the fireballs, but Mizuha does have ways to skate step through the fireballs. That's where you see Bonchan kind of just every so often put him on the table. The media kick, and there's the DP, if you please. That's what we're talking about. Get the right range. Final game, final round. Mizuha, Bonche, go to live. This is what we wanted to see. This is what I wanted to see. People at home probably wanted to see. If you're either players, you definitely want to see this. You definitely want to have them cleaned up with the quickness.
Busting out with the knees yet again. Knees and jab, but now it's going to be Mizuha getting a ton of mileage off of that crouching roundhouse. The sweep. Definitely getting that hybrid momentum. Oh boy, EX Parabellum again. Dash him 2 times over, keeping the meaty. The situation again? He made him think he was gonna get hit by the EX uppercut. How did he even read that?
Bro, these young cats are foul. Absolutely foul. Twice in one set, that was with intent. That was with an intent behind it. Heavy kick coming through. Bonchan could definitely make the comeback, but it's going to take a lot of work to climb Mount Everest.
He's got no resources left. He's got nothing on the table. No EXs, no V gauge, or at least no V trigger, I should say. It's going to be all normal, all tiger shots. How is he going to get out of this situation? Mizuha just needs one big touch.
Sagat's playing a different game right here. Ain't Street Fighter 5. It ain't Street Fighter 5, I'll tell you that. Trade too far out for the conversion, and Mizuha with another this character already got a V trigger ready to go. And it's just that 1 second you said before. Skate stepping through again, the trade. Not enough. That big boy health coming through for Sagat. One of the things that does help him to stay alive, but with no bar to thrive, how can he seal this?
He's got 10 seconds. He's not going to build enough V gauge. Mizuha's not even going to give it to him. 4 seconds on the clock. A little bit of chip. The overhead is there. Another overhead gets denied. Mizuha with the crouching jab, knowing full well what Bonchen wanted to do to steal the round back. Not today and not ever. That is a great way to put away the number 2 team. Hirogun making the final statement in the run back.
Dang, I know you hurt, and if you so close, but that resource management is so important for that character to have bar to even fight back, because otherwise you playing Street Fighter 2 out here if you're Sagat. You ain't got bar, it's hard to work out here, but the 9-5 plus overtime was put in by Mizuha, swinging it right back and staying solid against a matchup that is not too fun for a character that can't really deal with fireballs unless she's got the bar top bottom being used with a V trigger or EX, but Mizuha putting a ring on it with the commitments off the sweep. You see the loss right there. The draw last time, not this time though. Good 8, or not good 8 squad. FEV Roto Z losing to Gyogun, swimming upstream.
I mean, the way Mizuha played, you were talking about him putting in that overtime. He's looking at upper management, the way that he's been getting these Ws and bringing that bread to the company of Gyogun. Again, they were swimming upstream, but I think right now they can just go with the flow and ride that current with the wave of Ws that they've been getting. Gyogun has been ever so impressive. And speaking of impressive, let's take a look at the stats coming in from Mizuha. 3 wins yet again, despite no big reversals. Obviously, because it's Khalid, doesn't even matter. He did get the anti-airs on deck. And speaking of anti-airs, there wasn't too much being stopped from Bonchan. He did play Karen up first, but the Sagat just wasn't enough to close it out. Gyogun, right now, as it stands with that W, should be in 2nd place, overtaking their opposition. FAV Roto Z falling just slightly short now. Big important win for Gyogun.
Got the home interview real soon, but Gyogun, having almost like a success story. I feel like they've been working their way up to the top. Maybe one of the teams that people didn't look for. We were looking at FAV Roto Z and Good 8 Squad as the top spots for the longest. Now overtaken by Gyogun out here. The 3 big imps coming through, and the home team interview again going to come through. Man, what an excellent match. Mizuha really being the MVP out here multiple times. We saw it in his match against Gachikun, and now we're seeing it here. Mago being able to sleep well tonight. Mizuha said that was really close shave, and he's glad that he won. I mean, it was definitely literally by a jab victory, almost by a timeout situation right there. But Mizuha just happy that he got that victory, happy that he got that win. Mago probably also happy again that he, can maybe talk to Smack to feel like, hey, you took me down, but you take the team down. And Mago said they prepared a lot since they are on the home side, so they had that time, as you said prior, even beginning these matches, that they have the ability to get ready, prepare, and create a strategy and take that advantage with them. Mizuha worked really hard today. That's something that Mago had noticed.
Yeah, I feel like Mizuha has been really setting the pace for the rest of the team. If you're looking at overall win record, Mizuha should now be at 6-8, the highest record for the team thus far. But one of the things that I do want to highlight is the fact that Machibo getting his first W as Kami, starting to clean it up and feel a lot more confident in his gameplay, is just as important as Mizuha securing these Ws. What I want to know now from Mago is what he's going to do to step his game up, because he did have a couple of slight mishaps against Tokido, which is something you do not want to have happen towards the end of the season. But I mean, as it stands with Gyogun in second place, he shouldn't be that worried with teammates that like Machibo and Mizuha, as well as Moke, who's on the bench. So overall, Mago, with that mentality, he's going to continue working hard for the next round.
Yeah, you definitely have to work hard to keep those positioning as everything is shifted each and every day with all the points and everyone coming to play and stay above the red line to be in the 1st to 5th positions as we get towards the playoff. You can't be lacking or slacking out here. You got to stay up and stay solid. Shout out to them to come through and take a win over what was previously a draw, and y'all should be always give a shout outs here to the Pro Tour coming through, giving y'all great action every single weekend as we give you and deliver you some Street Fighter League action 3 times a week. That's ridiculous. People get Street Fighter League Japan of the highest caliber out here 3 times a week. It's just, y'all are blessed.
Yeah, we do want to highlight the fact that CPT is happening this weekend again. The top 16 for Brazil, the South America East region for the second qualifier is happening this weekend, November 2nd, as well as the week after that with Asia East qualifier number 2. We want to make sure that you guys get your calendars filled up with CPT, as well as everything that's been going on with Street Fighter League, right? We've been having a lot of these weeks with 3 games, actually 3 whole sets of matches every single week. You guys do not want to miss it because it's getting so close to that playoff spot happening in January. We have just about 10 days left of regular play, but I'll tell you what, we have another set of teams coming up after this break, and it's going to be ever so important. These are the runbacks. We talked about this a while ago. It's going to be the runback between Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto and Nagoya Ojo Body Stars coming up after this break. But again, you've been tuning into the official English restream with myself, Vicious, and Saint Cola. We had F-Word throw down on the mic earlier. We had Sien in the previous month. But I'll tell you what, we're going to keep the surprises going. We're going to keep the matches going a little bit afterwards. But you don't want to miss it. Your favorite players will be coming up in just a few more moments after this break when we return with Street Fighter League Pro-JP. Welcome back, everybody. Let's get into the next set of matches. Vicious here with St. Paula to introduce the away team. Coming in for the rear front back, it's going to be Nagoya Oja Body Star with their leader, Agna, lightning fast, as quick as ever. Going in with another one of the young guns, Oniki, with the youngness explosion, with an ever-impressive Bison. And of course, you see the swagger, you see the movement. He's the maestro of it. That's going to be MOV coming in. And of course, last but not least, hits the Devil of Victory, Dogura, with that ever-impressive dictator.
Fantastic fire right here. That's a team of Bisons, a team of dictators. But they gotta go up against a team with the most soul. Saishun Kan Soul Kumamoto, led by the Lord Nemo himself, the Violence Emperor, I should say. Nemo coming through. Always blessing people with the providence. And then the Violence Clerk himself, only dealing the damage, Shuto. This young man is ridiculous. Not to be outdone by Nishikin, the wild child. The wild, not mild out here with that Blanca pick. And eating it out, one of the crowd favorites and my personal favorite, the young president himself, Yanai. Vote for him if you want them win.
Well, he's got my vote. He's had my vote, I should say, since we've seen him play and his inception into Street Fighter League. And man, the death stares are coming in hot. Shuto's the only one that looked nervous. I feel like he kind of sat back in his seat, took a deep breath. Everybody was staring down the cameras. He didn't get the memo. He did not get the memo. And that's okay. That's okay.
I love it when it goes right back to the cameras. It kills me every single time. But man, if we look back at the matches that they had previously, it was a draw. In another draw that we had earlier, with the matches previously. Same with these teams in this run back. Last time, Oniki beat Shuto. Akira's Kami beat Nishikin's Blanca, and MOV lost to Nemo 3-0 in the anger match to end out in a draw situation on both sides. Is he going to take it today? We'll get into the draw situation.
Yeah, the roles have been reversed. You see MOV sitting on the bench. Not the best record right now, so you'd imagine you'd want to send the rest of the team up, and that's a really solid order. We're starting to see a theme here. We're starting to see the double up of the characters. Doguro as well as Oniki coming in back-to-back with dictators, and then you see Akira, the anchor, and the captain going in with that Kami, which is kind of expected. But you could see Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto having their discussion in terms of what had happened before. Oniki faced off against Shuto the last time. That was the Bison versus Urien matchup. I don't know if he'd want to have that run back again, if we're going to see that kind of theme. I feel like Nemo would want to start things off early to face off against someone like Dogura because of the matchup experience in general and just the character or the player experience overall.
Nishikin said that he wanted some purification. He went for some purification ritual at the Shrine today. That's wild to hear that a Blanca player wants to be pure. I feel like they want to roll around in the dirt. Nemo said that he did too, and that's the discussion. Nemo Gil going up first. You called it right. But this time, going with the Gil pick, Nishikin on the bench. Both the players of both sides that have been lacking a little bit on the bench. They want to send out, I guess, their current, or people who feel like they're the current best, up on the deck. The leaders going up against each other. Illuminati versus dictatorship.
I can kind of understand the mentality behind it because there's a lot of history. You want to go for something secure. You don't want to kind of force yourself in like that random situation or like go against the outlier, right? You want to get something that's kind of secure. Speaking of trying to secure these W's, Nemo is 4 out of 7. 4 wins out of the 7 games that he's played in 27 rounds overall. We can see where his V gauge goes and what is really being spent. It's mostly around V trigger. Same can be said for Dogura. You see nearly 100% when it comes to his matches played. He scored 9 points for his team thus far. And this is how often he spends his meter. He uses a lot of it for the V-shift, actually more so for the trigger, but what, 0.65 on average toward the V-shift? That's pretty important.
Oh, I mean, as Bison, you want to stay solid. You want to stay away from danger. You've got not the best in terms of defense. You've got the light, obviously you got the 3 frame, which is pretty good. You got Veerverse and stuff like that, but you don't have a DP that really threaten. When you put on your back, it's going to be real painful, and put in the corner too as well. Dogura has earned the most points on the chart at 9 points so far. But, you know, Nemo's saying that he hasn't done well with Gil so far and is looking to turn the tides with or when he goes up against Dogra. That's so strange because I feel like Gil does not too good against Bison. He can go for the parries at some of these strings and keep Bison honest, but Bison can eliminate that off the table. But then again, what's on paper doesn't always happen in the match. We've seen even yesterday where the Cody versus Guile matchup, usually slightly in favor, I think, for Guile, did really well. The 3-1 positioning here for John T in that situation. So sometimes it's just if you believe in yourself and you know how you have a game plan, that may work out better than just choosing a character that may do better or even in a matchup.
Yeah, I am kind of curious. You do have a lot of valid points here in terms of like the dynamic between the two characters with that matchup, Gil versus Bison. So as we set that up, we still have our trivia to go through with the home team. We talked about what they wanted to be if they weren't a pro player. Nemo actually said he wanted to be a pilot at one point. Yanai actually is a baller. He wanted to be a basketball player, whereas Nishikin says his grandparents are farmers and he wanted to be one as well. I do appreciate that, actually. Farmers are one of the hardest working people in the world, and I do admire that thoroughly. And Shuto, we do have the food theme staying alive, right? We heard what Moke wanted to do. He wanted to be a part of a bakery. Shuto actually likes cooking, and so he thought about becoming a chef if he weren't a pro player.
Another hardworking occupation right there. And I also like people that like being able to sit there and cook their own food. And I'm getting into that more these days, and I'm also ready to get into these matches, dog. Again, Gil versus Bison. But, you know, you think about Gil in a normal sense, but the way that Nemo plays is a lot more of that wild style. He'll take the risk for the laureates, especially the EX editions, to cut through some of the buttons, just slathered and lathered in the armor to get through. And I feel like if you're a little bit too obvious on your buttons, he's going to run the parry game and get that V meter built up. And the thing about Gil is, to get that win, you run the V-trigger sequences. Back to Shuto, though, it actually taught reporters on making some tips on making I'm probably going to say this wrong, fried chicken, karaage,
yeah.
Dang,
it's mad good.
You know how to make fried chicken?
It's breaded. It's breaded differently. Sometimes you'll get like chicken breasts, get it double fried a certain way. It's actually mad good.
Double fried?
I'm gonna need to steal that tech from Shuto. However he prepares it, I want to know how he does it. But I also want to see which one of these players here are gonna cook. It's gonna be Gil versus Bison, a matchup we rarely get to see. But I'll tell you what, it's in these players' hands now. It's gonna be a different type of atmosphere because, in fact, Gil being piloted by Nemo, Bison piloted by Dogura.
And finally, absorption. You see those different speeds of the fire, almost making it real hard to come through correctly. Like, what am I going to absorb? Am I doing the ice one or the fire one? The flame one, a lot faster than the ice one. You kind of fall behind if you dip. Or walk behind that sucker, get the skull in the front. Cool, you thought you could parry? Get got. That's what I'm talking about. Parry get called out. And the crush on the wake up, put him back to sleep.
What a time to jump out. Nemo finding the escape despite being at near stun. Dogura not too phased by it. I think this is the most active I've seen Dogura when it comes to playing offense.
Actually, like right there. Definitely didn't do that against Geeth, but you can do it here against this character. He took her off the table. Gil isn't as dangerous, but don't let him get sequences started like that. You try to go for the anti-air. Didn't get the stun, the V-shift to stay away from danger. Still got a little bit of that icy out on her. Absorption, but that's exactly what he wanted.
The retribution follow through there from Nemo. I feel like Dogura might have just been a little overconfident. He's like, you know, this matchup ain't too bad. This character ain't that great.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man. Nemo can make it work. Does get the full conversion there. Lariat Ender now setting him on fire. A little bit of damage. Oh, I like that. Going past the V-skill with the knee drop. That's cool. That's a very interesting interaction.
Definitely has left out this matchup to, you know, play against the tendencies of Dogura, what they want to do with the V-skill too as well. Look at the challenge right there. It's like counter hit. Can he stay alive enough against his character though? Can you stay solid? V-trigger. Bison got that command grab, so you definitely want him to come through.
And now Nemo is in full control, right? He's been swinging away at Dogura. Dogura does get the stop on the dash. Important tech, chase down with the sweep. Trigger is still on deck, and that's not gonna matter. Does get the lariat confirmed. It's a critical art. Send them back
To harmony. Dang, my man gave him the 6-piece wings.
Wins.
All right, let me get off food for a second. I gotta say, I like the way that Nemo's playing. Challenging before the down four fear, see if it comes through, the different fireball timings. And you see Dogra was like, dang, this is not as free as I thought it was gonna be. Twitter out here got me thinking different about this character, the neutral not so strong, all stuff like that. Nemo don't care, he is a beast.
Fight.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Oh boy, just hopping in and out of those ranges to kind of give Dogra a false sense of security. That was such a great anti-air placement, and now it leads to this very moment. A lot of pressure from the lights. But Dogra finding his way out. Bomb has been planted. Let's see how he makes the most of it. Where's the mix gonna be?
An explosion off the pop. Didn't get the hell attack. Unfortunately, does have him caught up in the corner. That sun has risen. You see Dogra a lot more active too. He was looking for the parry before. Now he's like, forget it. I'm gonna start swinging.
Check on the dash, but none from the side of Dogra. Here comes Gil. Yes, sir. The V-shift and the punish. All off the. I'm telling you, man, off of that V-shift, getting rid of the threat of those meaties is so important, right? You see that big old roundhouse he got crush countered by in the previous game. Nemo's like, you know what? I'm gonna use my V-shift for this one and get a full punish.
So smart with the V-bar. Again, a lot of Gil players be like, listen, I gotta have my V-trigger robbery. He says, no, dog. I'm staying neutral with the is on set point against Dogra as the first match for these two teams out here.
Forward though now coming in from Dogra, but still, there's just so much space in between them. He's gonna be a little bit more passive. But he dropped to the other side. Nemo got a couple of hits there, but not really enough to get any sort of conversion off of it. Light kick into the throw. The tip throw now forward. Movement from Nemo pushing Dictator, pushing Dogra into the corner, little by little.
All right, Raw. The X Fireball. You watch him the push. Steps up the medium speed. Runs out the V-skill Fireball. Dogra himself with the throw too as well. Has V-trigger on the deck. Spins and look at that Inspire to cover the approach and gets him got and trying to parry. Get got again on the wake-up situation. Dogra now playing on the opposite side. You want to use your V-skill? You play the bangs? Me too, dog. Because I'm going to catch you and make you falter. So smart with it.
Advantage of the buffer normal. Nemo is starting to catch some of the instances where Dogra wants to be buffering. The big jump in and the side switch as well is going to be huge for that cross-up. Catching a crush counter again, a big stun for Dogra, but he still has another sequence to go if he wants to take it down and tie up the round, and that's exactly it.
No.
Nemo giving it up with the parry.
We talked about how that was going to be an issue, how, you know, if you can get the parries going, it's great, but when they whip, you're giving them not only V-bar, but damage access. You're just out there. Your hands are up. My dude's already behind you. Find a punish. Dogra now even things out, and now a lot less pensive on the wake-up situations too. He's finding these meaties. He's like, if you do commit to a parry, that's cool for you, but you're not gonna do it all the time. I can't limit my offense for that.
I think you're right, but right now Dogra, speaking of being on the offensive now, a big confirm off of the standing heavy punch. Activation raw, back throw now, side switch, perfect for Nemo.
Trade don't matter, EXs or knees.
Ever so important to get that V-shift. I do like that there from Dogra. And that's great. He did have the light lead. That V-shift was absolutely perfect there against Nemo.
I love seeing people use V-shift punishes, man. I feel like there's so many gaps that go for free, and having that V-shift punish just to seal the deal and get that fat lead is, as you said, important. Now Dogra sitting on set point. And now you see the deficiencies of Gil come through. The Gil, or the parry's not always happening. And the V-trigger robbery's not always happening. The neutral, a little bit more in favor of the character that is Bison. Nemo gotta turn up a little bit.
Not getting the forward throw. Dogra not even trying to anti-air, he's just backing away, but still catching Nemo in some of these instances too. That was a very mean Psycho Axe, dear God.
No bones, all me. Retribution. Pay for your sins. Going in.
Oh my
the red
God,
stuff.
he's playing basketball
he's
with himself off the backboard. Nemo, can he complete it? Does he need to use the meter? He sure does, and the retribution in full fashion. Bus ass. This guy got 22 hits on there. Yipes is somewhere smiling, feeling the gill.
Yeah, he's probably asleep with just a grin on his face.
He's sleeping rough.
See out here, a Nemo possibly. He's working out here. All right, you got for the activation. Little Frank on the delay. Doesn't matter though. Staying solid with the defense. You see that a lot of preemptive buttons, a lot of preemptive things out here from the side of Nemo to stave off this pressure, this character coming through. Oh, I like the blast pieces right there to eliminate the fireball and possibly dash up and start getting into him. Look at the call.
Did you see that counter hit conversion off of the stand light kick? Dogra actually not even impressed. Activation coming up soon. No activation at all! Oh my god, he's not dead though. He's not dead. Too much scaling involved. There was 2 lights behind it. And he doesn't even get Oki after
Fireball
that.
says it right back. Same day delivery. Trigger activation. We're gonna come. You gotta watch the slide. Sold him!
Oh, that was
the
so
Inferno,
smart.
so smart. Back to square one. EX in play. Oh, the challenge.
That was a counter hit.
Oh, Nemo's a god.
Oh my god, he parried it!
Nemo.
I can't believe it. Nemo, you sick, sick man. He actually read him like a book. That was disgusting. My man baited him out, hook, line, and sinker. He's like, yeah, come through to this fireball, fam. I got this parry for you towards the end. That was disgusting. Nemo. Jesus.
You know he feel good about that one. You already said he hasn't been doing well with Gil. He's like, let me do well against one of your strongest competitors, one of your strongest players, one of the strongest players in Street Fighter League Japan, with a character that is not that strong at all. 2-1 on the side in terms of rounds, in 1 point in full for Team Soul. The sun is shining, the clouds are parting, and all I'm seeing is terrific wings coming down. Harmony blessing this team so far.
That felt like an anchor match, to be quite honest with you. That is,
really did.
I wouldn't have been surprised if that was like the final moment because of how intense the back and forth was between these 2 individuals. It's very impressive, and it's so entertaining to see the kind of adaptations and some of the risks that they're willing to take towards the end. That was ridiculous. There's other words I would love to use to explain it, but I don't have that kind of time. Nemo, 2 out of 3 in terms of anti-airs. Of course, no reversals on the side of Gil. However, Dogra a little bit off when it came to the anti-airs, and it's kind of important to note that because you kind of see Bison's anti-air game fall off in this season. It's not going to be as consistent, right? Taking away that crouching jab, but still having to utilize some of the other heavier normals. That's going to lead to these kind of statistics more often than not. But Dogra, again, didn't fall too short too badly. It was just one of those instances where, you know, he did maintain control majority of the match and just got slighted a little bit by Nemo's genius of a parry.
And that's all after getting crush counter to the face so many times. I would have definitely, if I was Nemo, I would have been using that button. I would have like, nah, I'm not using that B skill anymore. But that again is how Nemo plays. He plays his own way. He's like, I will play how I want to play. You know, ride or die with it. And now he's riding the victory with the first W on the side of Team Soul. Staying solid. Look at him, just feeling himself. I can't wait to see what he says about that one. Discussion time coming up, but again, you saw the deficiencies when it came to the anti-airs on Bison's side, but Nemo was ready. He ran the knees, he ran the jumpers and things like that. He made it real awkward to go for the V skills, and even playing against the tendencies of Dogra back at him. So again, Team Soul coming through strong. That was tight. Y'all make sure y'all clip stuff and make sure y'all talk about it on Twitter. I can't wait to see what people are saying about this one later on. But let's get these matches up here. Nemo joking, saying he's going to leave the rest to Nishikin. He said, I'll leave the rest to you. That's foul, dude.
Man, put him on the bench. Come on now. But I will say,
I'll leave the rest to you. Win.
There's definitely certain things that Nemo likes to do. He kind of likes to egg on some of his teammates a little bit. And I like Nishikin with the backbone saying, you know, I actually practice a lot against Dictator, so you should have put me in. But as it stands, since Nishikin is on the bench, we actually have to put someone up, and it happens to be Yanai coming up next with the G. I'd imagine it would have been Shuto versus Oniki because of the match we just saw, Urien versus Bison. But I guess Yanai is going to be put up to the plate. However, if I were to guess, right, before knowing these this lineup, I'd imagine you'd want to have Yanai play off against Akira's Kami, wouldn't you? Possibly? Or would you rather just suffer, like, you know, it both kind of sucks to have G or Urien in that matchup, but I think with the way Yanai's been playing, I would have loved to see him as the anchor.
I'm maybe in a longer set that may even be more of a deficiency though. I feel like you're just giving more of a momentum chance to Akira. So maybe it's like you take what's gonna do the least amount of damage to you, and it's both gonna suck, right? But take the one where maybe there's a better chance to come back, the comeback factor to come back on the side of G in the first of 2 than the first of 3. If it's a first of 3, less likely to happen. But back to this match right here, a first of 2 is real good for G, for that robbery factor to get going, and less chance for you to acclimate and deliberate what you want to do on defense. Oniki also the aggressive kind of style. I wonder how his defense is going to be. Yanai says he's prepped a lot for the Dictator matchup. Actually, he's around the same age as Oniki, so he's looking forward to this match. This is a battle of the Young Bucks. They won't say it, but I know there's some heat behind it. You the same age as somebody else, you trying to prove that you're the superior out here, that you're the best. Damn.
You know, I do like that. The heated rivalry between a lot of the new generation has been popping up more often than not in Japan. And so it's very exciting to see as we get ourselves ready for the next match. The away team discussion pretty much has the same topic overall. Dogura actually said he would have been making video games if he were not a pro gamer. Akira actually wanted to be a wedding planner. That's really cool. Management skills for organizing these weddings for a lot of these couples out here getting married, it's actually quite difficult, I feel like, in the current atmosphere. But I'd imagine Akira being able to manage aggressiveness with the likes of Kami, he would have been a perfect wedding planner. Oniki actually said he wanted to be a marathon runner, which also takes a lot of fortitude and a lot of discipline. Being a marathon runner, I'll tell you what, man, you have to put your body through the most grueling circumstances, dude. And him saying he wanted to be a marathon runner instead of a pro player is actually very, very interesting. I do like that response. MOV said he didn't have a dream job in his mind, but he really liked unicycles when he was young. So maybe he could find a future in that. Maybe.
I don't know what you can really do with that one. You know, maybe slip out of the carnival. I'm not sure if they that's like a very paid job out there. But you know, back to this match, so Yanai coming through against, let's see how prepared he is against the Dictator matchup. With the changes that have happened, you have to be even more stable. And there's so many ways for Bison to knock you off your feet and take off the level ups that come and make this character more powerful, that make G more powerful, that keep him in the office. You got the blast to worry about, the sweeps off the feet, and then if he gets in with the throw pressure after some scissor kicks, oh no.
Yeah, again, I would have loved to see the Oniki versus Shuto matchup would have been cool for the run back, but as it stands, he's going to be the president of the world, Yanai, with the 100% win record. Can Oniki be the first to put that L on the side of Yanai?
Has that high win record, Yanai. Hasn't lost just yet, wants to keep that going. Hot with the streak, the dash up, command grab. Look for the jump fierce, another command grab, acting like. He's trying to find his way up the corner with the blast, but you see Yanai nice and patient with it.
Speaking of command grabs, does get the bomb of his own. Oniki now. No, he actually gets interrupted from Yanai. What a choice to press that crouching jab, but no buffer behind it. Oniki is still trying to maintain this corner pressure. That would have been huge if he got jumped in on. Yanai, he's buffering away. You see the stand light kicks. You know what he's looking for. His mind is only on one thing, and it's disgusting.
Absolutely nasty. Now the bar at the bottom is filled up. It's activation time trade though. Oniki comes through with the Psycho Crusher. Dash up back, don't you put back in the corner. In the fake, no, just a shimmy throw. Just a shimmy throw, there you go.
Round 2. Fight.
You see the fireball game coming a lot more from Yanai, but I like the activity there from Oniki, right? The active defense, jump back jab. to make sure the jump in doesn't get through. I mean, if you can't anti-air with crouch jab, why not jump jab?
Shoot the layup. Off the fingertips. Love that bud. I like Oniki using the fierce to deal with that heavy kick, right? Or the medium kick, I should say. Any of the buttons that come through. Crouching light, standing light, any of those buttons coming through, he's gonna swing out that fierce. Let the priority system take the wheel to trade in favor of Oniki. Still, you know, has the weak and help. But it's call up in the corner. It's not where you want to be against G.
Oh my god, the chase down after the head stomp. This guy tried to go for the reverse, but still empty jump low. Where is he gonna go? Is he gonna grab you? Oh boy, that would have been dangerous if he did actually get a grab off that.
Had to be a reversal. But now, back in crouch fierce again for the anti-air. Oniki, oh, the light bumper, the super!
Oh my
This
god!
is you said. So nasty.
Unnecessary. My man still got the buffer. He even called it. He's like, nope, I got this. Boom.
Sicko mode. I think it's on raw sweep off the feet. In the light buffer again, interrupting the EX. Bro, that's that's Gunman reaction right there. Even if you had that buffer, ain't nobody ready for that like that. Nice study.
And that's the beauty of the buffer, right? He doesn't even have to be ready. It can just be second hand. He just has to throw it in there. Stand light kick. If he runs into it, nothing to really worry about.
Worried about this corner position right here. He's dead. EX. Not deterred by any of that pressure. And that's what you have to do against G. You have to stay solid. Like, cool, you get the command grabs going, you put in a 6 sequence, you catch a light buffer here and there, all those explosive fingertips, 4 feet that come from G. And you're like, that's cool, let me run my pressure and get you caught in the corner. Because on the reverse, G cannot handle the heat. He does not have the defense to do it. And most G players do not want to spend their V-bar for V-reversal, V-shift and stuff like that. That means they'll V-trigger. That means they'll win factor.
It's a very important thing to note. You know, we've seen a lot of highway robberies when it comes to G, trying to get that cash from all that V-trigger. But as it stands right now, Oniki doing a fantastic job of keeping Yanai in check in the corner. A lot of the damage, actually a lot of the times where Yanai actually found success, it was in those moments where he shouldn't have, right? That light buffer coming in clutch with the critical art. Even before that moment, you were thinking about the control, the amount of control that Oniki had overall. He's currently at the advantage. He is definitely the favorable one to win in terms of how he's controlled the matchup thus far and has kept Oniki in the corner. We're looking to see that kind of gameplay again. I want to know what Oniki has in mind this time with neutral and what Yanai is going to do to stop him. Is he going to throw out a little bit more or a couple of more fireballs to give Oniki some false information in the beginning? How is he going to close the gap against him to force him into this corner? I want to see what Yanai has in response to Oniki's control thus far in the match.
Yeah, I'm really curious. Is he going to be starting to spin that V-bar for that defense? You know, it's looking kind of difficult. When he can also go for these situations to get the knockdown too, or scissor kicks, just getting close. And then, yeah, threatening with a strike throw pressure right there. Even though he was a little bit far out, still, you're so afraid of what could come. Crouching kick, the lights and things like that. There's the buffer again, Yanai. The jump heavy kick and the command grab.
He opted to go for a safe jump setup instead of going for any sort of smash over. Not too bad. There comes the trigger activation from Oniki. And if you're Yanai, you're going to be making sure to not fall for the sweep trap. Oh, I thought he was going to punish, but it still hits the cross up. That's unfortunate. Oniki gets a good amount of damage here. I don't think it's going to kill.
Dash up situation right here. Comes off in the corner. Tech. Interruption. No V-trigger activation for you. Best preventative health. A medium kick a day will keep the V-trigger away. And Oniki on set point.
Is this going to be the first time we see Yanai falter? Oniki is doing a fantastic job thus far. Gets the scissor kick as the opener. You see a lot of lights being buffered from the side of Yanai. Not making anything of it, really. You can't even jump in on Oniki.
He's always backing away to get that nice and easy anti-air to make sure it catches. And now puts him in the corner. Again, this is not where G wants to be. Crouching a punch buffer right there. B skill going for the Oki this time.
We see a lot more activity coming in from Yanai. The smash under into activation. The big interruption from Oniki again harassing. Not even giving Yanai a chance to utilize his trigger. Jump back jab, get off me.
The layup. Raw foot kicks.
Maybe the throw.
Let's get it going. Like with the EX one touch. The dash up will do it. Oniki showing he's the one studied and is the first loss on the side of Yanai. And you see that one really hit him hard. First time Yanai has lost so far is Street Fighter League Japan, and it comes at the one of the same age as you. That's gotta hit different.
So it was a 2-0 victory from the side of Oniki, but I do want to highlight that it was 2 rounds straight towards the end. This man has broken the code. He's figured out the Illuminati and has taken down the organization. Yanai's G has been out of commission for the first time since his inception into Street Fighter League, and you could see him you could see the wheels in his mind, the cog wheels slowly turning. He's like, you know, you got me this time, but I'll make sure never to lose to another Bison again after this. Fact of the matter is, it's going to be Nagoya Oja Body Star coming away with the victory. No more runbacks now. Shuto, actually Oniki pretty much saying hold that. Shuto not even being able to get the run back, instead sent out the president. And that's just how it's gonna crumble.
Really well studying that matchup, staying right outside the right distances, a perfect switch up of defense to use the V-bar to stay away from danger. Also, offense to apply the pressure when he knew to go for it too. And the switch ups off the scissor kicks, once he gets in, goes for the light and the threat of the throw. Opened up Yanai too many times. We didn't see Yanai get too many level ups too. I wonder if that would have helped out in featuring sequences where he didn't get enough going. I feel like, you know, like it was like 1 or 2 segments away or sequences away from victory in the first match. That could have been the determiner, but it's hard to get going and hard to get those levels going when you have Bison sliding on through. So sliding on to a victory right there, all tied up between the teams. Now, Akira on the deck. Ooh-wee. Shuto Urien. Gonna have to fight that Akira. Good luck.
Yeah, no, good luck indeed. I feel like this matchup is going to be so tough overall. Shuto actually has had... I kind of want to know how many run-ins he's had against Cammy overall. He's played at least 8 times thus far, and he has not faced off against too many Cammys, I feel like. Yeah, he hasn't fought a Cammy once. What?
You're a lucky man. Go buy a lotto ticket.
Blessed.
If you're old enough.
I would say he is lucky up until this point, right? The one time he has to face off against a Cammy, it's for the ever-important anchor match against the team captain of Nagoya Oja Body Stars. We're taking a look at their stats overall. Akira has had a very impressive record, has taken down some of the biggest titans in the FGC for Street Fighter, right? We talked about that famed match against Tokido and taking it down convincingly. Shuto actually hasn't had a winning record. He's currently 1-7, although being one of the famed Urien players in the newer generation category. He's had a fantastic play, or a fantastic couple of seasons into Street Fighter League, but as it stands right now, he's facing off against one of the biggest hurdles you could possibly imagine. Not only one of the young guns, but also one of the teams that gave him the most trouble. So we'll see how it plays out between the two.
Gotta give some credit to Shuto though. If there's one person who can be a little more defensive and maybe able to save up this pressure, it's Shuto. He definitely has the highest record of these ships in the Street Fighter League series of the Urien picks this season. So gotta stay away from danger. Those overheads are not plus, my friend.
Fireball stopping Akira does get a confirm now. Akira with the tech throw against Shuto and the... Okay. Now let's take his turn correctly. Forward throw down. Ugh. Dead? Deader than dead. Easy peasy.
Round 2.
Quickness.
Akira
There's one
outright.
person that definitely has shown us that. I was gonna say that there's one person that understands a matchup, and as you said, understood the assignment, is definitely Akira. And how he plays a Urien matchup. So quick with it. Baits out the EXDP. Oh my god. This might be a quick finish. This might be an 80% run. That's a stun and done.
Oh. Didn't spend the critical line. What? Normally that sequence would have been a finisher. Akira, is he looking to make a statement, or was that an error? Was that a blatant error? Is there some negligence going on here? What is going on with Akira?
So mad, it cleans it up anyway. I mean, it was looking dire either way, but Then again, we've seen these comebacks come from Yuri, so you don't want to leave that character alive. Don't matter if you win the matchup or not. You don't want to be enforced in the mix that is Yuri and what he puts you through. So to stay away from that danger, I suggest sending out those supers, same-day delivery. Akira with the first win.
You see,
The meter out.
Akira actually was apologizing in his face cam. He's like, that was an accident, my mistake. That should have been a critical art. But very lucky for Akira to not be susceptible or a victim of the Urian comeback. As it stands right now, Shuto is going back to the main lobby to reassess and figure out what he needs to do to take down the speed star, excuse me, that is Akira.
I wonder, I mean, it's so hard because on paper, already this match is already really difficult. Someone that's as defensive as Shuto isn't going to be taking a lot of risk in trying to get that reward. So already off the bat, your natural playstyle, you found your natural predator, I should say, in the wild, in the jungle. You've been coasting along and staying lucky. All of a sudden, the one higher in the food chain is coming for you, and they're hungry.
What about food at near 5 in the morning? Yeah, we definitely hungry out here. Getting the first confirmed now. It's going to be all Akira trying to enforce, trying to chase down Shuto. Another big counter hit conversion, and it's already into this corner.
Hit the buffer, fair tackle. This time does it again, gets the 3-piece. EX, yeah, keep it with the plus frames. Stay positive with it. Here's a lot of damage. This all can go away with one sequence though. Activation time.
Oh, that was indeed a big buffer, I feel like, from Shuto. Using the stand medium punch into the fireball, the metallic sphere, rather than the tackle. Pretty good.
Medium punch coming out. In the clutch, no buffer behind that Fierce. Crouch Fierce though, does get the confirm, catches him up in the corner.
It was a punish on the dive kick, actually.
Aggression.
Yeah, just outside of that range. Being able to get that just the momentum and the movement away from the dive kick is so smart from Shuto. And now Akira gets, that's what I was talking about. I was looking for that moment. I was looking for when Shuto was gonna bust out with the EX headbutt. It was only a matter of time. Catching Akira slipping, right? As fast as he wants to run, get a little bit of that slickness going on the road and see him slip. That was great for Shuto.
Shuto actually turning up a lot in this match, a lot more aggressive, and playing the aggressiveness that Akira wants to do. Already that's hard to deal with Candy, right? But stay outside the distance, find the punishes, and putting on the big amounts of big boy damage. Grown man damage. And right now, he's looking like a same beast, but a different type of animal. A lot more aggressive. I think maybe Akira thought going this match, oh, this dude's gonna go for V shifts and stuff like that. I could just rush him down. And that's how it did go in the first couple of rounds. But then we see Shuto just get aggressive with it, with the buffers, and not always staying at the same place in space. And now enacting that violence that you see, the violence clerk, only dealing damage right now. Nothing else for currency or for sale.
Yeah, when the boss is out of the office, it's up to the violence clerk to make sure that all the violence gets checked and distributed properly. Shuto's looking to do that, right? Shuto is up, or excuse me, ties it up 1-1, and he doesn't want to falter again to a Kami. Or actually falter for the first time to a Kami. He hasn't lost a one yet. He hasn't even played one yet. What am I saying? This is his first time.
You see so many Kami and Yuri matchups. You know, it's hard to keep track, but the Shuto fights a little bit different. Gets out of danger with that. Mean kick EX on his own. I like that headbutt right there, but again, if you're putting that pressure on him, back throw again. Coming through a lot of back throws. Oh.
Nice and easy. Akira getting the full-on punish. And I don't blame Shuto for taking that risk again, but as it stands right now, Akira is in prime position to get his offense going a lot sooner than Shuto, considering the bar down below. Yes, sir, that is the point of activation. That crouching, or excuse me, that dive kick to get things going. Getting the low confirmed now. Shuto is in this corner. He is stuck now, just getting harassed by Akira. Another big confirm.
Dash up. Back brainless right there, and then backs away from the danger. Trade combo didn't get the crouch Fierce though. The trade combo was still got caught in the corner. That's gonna be followed up with the crouch Fierce punch. Headbutt back throw again from Shuto. He's got the bar at the bottom. This bit of the activation will save it for his defense. Knee kick activation, runs a DP, puts a full bar usage on him.
One EX headbutt off the table. And imagine if you're Akira, you're just fine with that. Oh boy, here comes the activation. V-Shift get himself out of the trap. No sandwiches here. It doesn't even matter. You're taking it to go.
Final round.
Gave the game round to round. You can't eat inside. Protocol.
No, you cannot. That's exactly it.
You see the side of the door? Why are you sitting down? You got no chair. Backs away from the EX dive kick. I like that against Shudo. Switching up where he stands at. Make those dive kicks not come for free.
And I'm liking Shudo now with the side life lead. What a reaction! Target combo to punish the EX tackle. Now a counter hit, full conversion. He's gonna spend it early. He's not gonna go for the kill off the critical art, but he's got so much bar left. He's got the trigger, at least I should say. Raw activation. Do not let this man whiff punish you from this far.
Oh, the DP to do it! This is you said, Vicious.
He is so smart, Saint. Did you see that play? He purposely went up to fake out the dive kick. Shuto was jumping back in anticipation to punish the dive kick. And immediately after punishing with the anti-air, this guy, Akira, is a genius.
Got wrinkles in the brain.
That's definitely going to
This fight coming through with you? Oh yeah, that's definitely. Fury players are going to be hurt for a while on that one. Might be Shudo's hurting too. This is game point. Akira, he's turning up again. Slowly this time. He's trying to stay fine. I feel like Akira, the first couple rounds, I feel like he's going a little bit too aggressive, but now he's switching back and forth with his pace, right? Making it hard to read that rhythm. Shudo, gotta be super careful. He hits headbutt, does the anti-air in the counter hit combo. I like this pickup.
Oh. Just sneaking away with a couple of turns extra now. Crouching medium punch. He's looking for that stun, and he finds it off of the 2 jabs. More than enough damage to get the round. You already know it. Built some meter for yourself. Shuto staying alive, getting the first round of game number 4. Akira has been put into the blender at that point, actually. I feel like, you know, Shuto is throwing a lot of normals, and Akira couldn't find the counter. But where he lacks in defense, he makes up for it in offense. Oh my God!
Big bust out right there. Sweep off the feet. Running it raw. Shudo throwing out some more wrist. That's what we like to see. Fierce don't confirm into anything though. Akira does have B trigger to pop. Block and drop. Block and drop it. You see that on his situation. Love to have that. Akira may not even need B trigger.
Tune that thing up. Let me see it roll. Oh my God, Akira still getting the usage of that V-trigger, now putting himself at match point. Still critical art on deck as well.
Could run that raw real quick. Could spin 1 bar and still get it back in time to stay fine. Good. Brooke here. Trying to back up. Trying to find an anti-air. He's so scared. Back brainless again.
You're actually dead.
Oh,
you're actually dead. Oh, okay. Well, he's living. He's living. He's still going to be in threat of the stun, and after that, it's going to be dead. Yep. And that's more than enough.
There's your stun.
Akira. Nice and easy. What else would he have to do after that, right? He gets the critical art. All he has to do now, he doesn't have to fear for the meter. He just has to dash up and apply the meaty light. This man, Akira, Mind Steel delivered for Nagoya Oja Body Stars, getting themselves 3 points. And you can see how much it means to this team, especially Dogura, giving him the hands of praise because he fell short to Nemo. And again, these guys, Nagoya Oja Body Stars, especially with their team captain, is seeing a lot of success in the later half of this season. It's so impressive.
Yo, Team Soul is simmering right now. You can see how upset they are. Hansel and Gretel, they still on the pan, still cooked up, delivered on the plate, no weight. Good stuff right here from Oja, Team Oja Body Star. Showing off the muscles. The 3-1 to get it done, strong. And look at the aggression right here. We gotta give them a lot of credit. The 1-1 right here on the EXDPs. Shudo getting a lot of those baited out, and a lot of those led to good moments for Kira to make those big comebacks.
You see the amount of risk that Shudo decided to take with the invincible reversal down below in the bottom left. 1 out of 4. He caught one earlier, very early on in the set, and opted to go for it continuously afterwards. He did manage to utilize one as an anti-air, and it didn't really lead to much after that, but still, he was willing to throw out those EX headbutts after he saw one of them work. Whereas Akira, you see the 100% down there in the bottom right. This man actually needed just one to regain the confidence, because again, his defense may not have been the best. His offense is what really shines, and that is the perfect tool to use to get that offense going. EX uppercut on wake up to make sure the opponent respects your wake up game. Very smart.
Fantastic play from Akira, and fantastic in the fact that he just was really good about toning down when he needed to. We saw a lot of mistakes come through, a lot of punishes, and a lot of just like moments given to Shudo to find the medium punch buffers to get on the corner and things like that. He took that off the table, started tightening up the strings, and the bait that you had perfectly pointed out that was going to come through with the V-trigger activation. Fantastic stuff. We have the interview here from Team Oja Body Star coming up real soon, but man, oh man, if you wanted to see how Cammy can dismantle Urien in so many different ways, you can watch today's gameplay all the way through. And Akira says that although Dogoro lost today, the team has been in his care throughout the whole season, because it is a team effort. This isn't just about a singular sort of soldier out here. It is a team effort. So even if one player fails, the other ones are there to kind of lift them up.
And you can see the responsibilities taken up from a lot of the players on the team, right? They make sure to study the matchup as much as possible. And you can see how hard they work at it, right? Akira actually said it was so difficult to predict how Sai Shunkan was going to play. They take a lot of consideration into thinking what the order is going to be, what the characters are going to be, as well as how they're going to perform in that moment of time. And Akira, again, showing how much they work at it as a unit is ever so impressive. Again, clawing their way, actually solidifying their way in the spots for playoffs. Nagoya Oja Body Star has come a long way, but getting those 3 points, absolutely imperative. And not too bad for a team that pretty much made their roster overnight.
That's incredible. Also, it was incredible, the previous action, Gyogan coming on top against FAV Roto-Z, being able to smoke them. We've had a whole day of great Street Fighter V action. You can see the standings right here. Good Ace Squad at the top, Gyogun, Shinobiism Gaming, FAV Roto-Z, and then Oja Body Star still in 1 to 5th. Milladon Beast, Soul, and Detonation still at the bottom, swinging to get that top spot, or just past the red line to stay fine.
Yeah, not a lot of changes so far from Milladon Beast, Sai, Shunkan, Soul, Kumamoto, and Camouflage Detonation. 2 of those 3 teams are actually going to be playing very soon, actually. In fact, we've seen what the matchups are going to be like. It's going to be Milladon Beast going up against V6 Plus FAV Roto-Z. We have back-to-back plays coming in, right? Gyogun also pulling in the doubleheader against the Nagoya Oja Body Star. The 2 teams that came out with the W are going to be facing off in tomorrow's show. You guys do not want to miss it. It's been an absolute pleasure for the English broadcast from all of us with Street Fighter League Pro-JP. Again, these matches have been absolutely insane, and I'm glad you guys get to catch it with me and St. Cola, as well as the other commentators throwing down. So again, we'll see.